Hello everyone and welcome back to What If Yamcha was the strongest Z fighter? It's been quite a while since I've updated this story, kinda because I thought people wouldn't like it, but it turns out that a lot of people wanted me to finish it. So here we are. Last part, Yamcha was corrupted by Babidi and became part of his henchmen. Gohan, concerned, comes down from the air to confront Yamcha. As he goes over to the Earthling, he sees Yamcha glare at him with a crazy look in his eyes. You think that's power? I'll show you real power. As he punches Gohan in the chest, sending him flying into the ship wall. Goku thinks to himself, I gotta do something fast cause this isn't looking too good. Then he shoots a ki blast at Yamcha's feet, sending him hurtling into the next floor of the ship. Then before he could fly back up, he instant transmissions over to Gohan and the rest of the team and tells them to grab on. He then teleports everyone back to the tournament arena. This is the worst case scenario. Their strongest ally is now their strongest foe. You missed a lot, Kakarot. I fought him, and I know just how far the gap in our power is. We can no longer allow this Earthling to be stronger than us. I think I know where you're going. Vegeta, I mean it makes sense. How did Yamcha get this strong in the first place? He trained the hyperbolic time chamber using the thought of one day beating us. Since it's such a dire situation, I should tell you that I've achieved a new form of power while training with Yamcha and Piccolo these past 7 years. I'll help you obtain this in the chamber. I think we could possibly overcome Yamcha if we both master it. Goku says that that's funny, I was just about to tell you the same thing. It turns out that due to Vegeta having a powerful rival like Yamcha still on Earth, he was able to push himself to an even stronger form past that of the Super Saiyan 2. But both Goku and Vegeta have only recently gained this form. They will need to train extra hard in the time chamber with it, even if it's only for an hour or two, or 1 to 2 months. With that, Goku and Vegeta say goodbye to their loved ones and instant transmission over to Dende and Mr. Popo. Real quick, I do want to mention the obvious point of using the time chamber well on a day past to Earth, and honestly, in this dire situation, I believe that King Yemma would be fine with this. Both Majin Buu and Yamcha are universal threats at this point and are currently making his job a living hell, no pun intended. Technically, it would still be about an hour or two in the real world, so are they really breaking the day pass by using this loophole? For the sake of this what if, I'm gonna say no. Alright, back to regular programming. Gohan, ashamed by his weakness, is confronted by the Supreme Kai. The Kai senses a deep and vast amount of potential in the young Saiyan, and tells him that he should come train with him in the land of the Kais. Gohan gratefully accepts the offer and teleports off with the 2 Kais. Back at Babidi's ship, the worst case scenario is also going on. Babidi, now laughing at himself about Yamcha attacking his friends, is randomly blasted with steam directly in his face. Surprised, he turns around to see that Buu's egg is steaming and ready to blow. He screams and runs behind a wall, the egg explodes, and who else comes out but Majin Buu. Babidi and Majin Buu leave the ship and show Buu the outside of the ship, as well as congregate with Majin Yamcha. After meeting up, Babidi tries to convince Buu that Yamcha is his friend, but Yamcha isn't understanding this notion like Babidi thought he would. It seems like this mind control isn't working the way it's supposed to. Yamcha turns to Buu and says that I'll test my power on you next, Blob. He then randomly charges at Buu and begins to throw a flurry of punches, catching the Majin off guard. Buu seems to be having fun with this at first, but as soon as Yamcha sees this, he becomes furious and launches a spirit ball directly at Buu, blowing him up. But Buu reforms with a serious look on his face. You're not playing with Buu, you're trying to hurt Buu. Buu angry. Buu then charges at Yamcha, slamming him into the ground. This is what begins the battle between Majin Yamcha and Majin Buu. And this fight's definitely pointing in Yamcha's favor. Although he can't currently find a way to get over Majin Buu's regeneration, he outpowers and outskills the Pink Blob Man. Yamcha finally gets bored of this cycle and uses the Evo Wolf Fang Fist, a movie crafted in the time chamber. This sends Majin Buu spiraling down to Babidi's ship, destroying the entire building. Buu's had it, he's beyond pissed. Then, something begins to happen to him. He explodes in a shroud of steam, and when the steam dissipates, the 2 warriors stand staring at each other. This is Evil Buu and of course Majin Buu. To Yamcha's surprise, these 2 Majin almost immediately start fighting each other. They are pretty even in power, but Evil Buu uses a dirty tactic and surprises Majin Buu by zapping him with the chocolate ray, and eating him. Buu once again explodes into steam, and when the steam vanishes, an entirely new Majin is standing there. This is of course Super Buu. Yamcha's completely confused as of what to do right now, and he senses the new Majin's power, which is more defined than the previous. He decides that now is a good time for round 2. Yamcha immediately jumps in and begins to exchange blows with this new Majin. His body is definitely more suited for combat at this time, and the gap of power and skill isn't as wide. But after years of martial arts combined with this Majin evolution form, Yamcha does have the upper hand. Buu attempts to turn Yamcha into chocolate, but in a weird way, Yamcha could sort of feel where the beam will land, and avoids it with ease, landing more hits on the Majin. After some time battling, Yamcha's getting sort of tired of the fight since he can't find a way to mortally injure Buu, and attempts to go all out. After getting sent through a mountain, he stands up with a serious look in his face and screams Kaioken ×2. He launches himself at Buu and sends Shin crashing down to the earth. He then charges his patented Hell Spirit Grenade Ball, the same move that killed Cell. He had regeneration and this killed him off, so it gotta work against Buu. He puts all of his power into it and sends 100 Spirit Balls to Buu, creating a giant green explosion on the ground. After the dust clears, Yamcha sees no sign of Buu, and he begins to fly away content. With his mind still clouded by the Majin curse, he decides the best way to find Goku and Vegeta would be to, blow up the cities, I guess. So in his delusions, he begins to destroy innocent families in their homes. Shortly after Yamcha leaves, pink blobs start to seep out of the earth crevice and join together. recreating Super Buu. After losing that fight, he's absolutely starving for candy, so he's going to go out and make some. He then flies off in an opposite direction from Yamcha and also begins to wreak havoc on the Earth. 2 hours pass, and the situation is looking dire for Earth. With all the strongest warriors off prepping for the two Majins, nobody's able to get close without dying. Over in the land of the Kais, Gohan starts his dire training with the Z-Sword, eventually breaking it and freeing old Kai. He then learns of the ritual to awaken potential and tells the old Kai to do it immediately for the sake of the Earth. They start the ritual, but only an hour in, Gohan feels the voice in his head. This is King Kai, urging Gohan to return to Earth. You're the only hope. Goku and Vegeta still haven't left the time chamber. The Earth will soon be destroyed. So reluctantly, Gohan never finishes the old Kai ritual and gets Supreme Kai to Kai him back to the Earth. Gohan does surprisingly feel a little stronger with that short training with the Z-Sword, but not by a lot. He decides that he has the best odds trying to beat Super Buu over Yamcha. He's never met him, and he knows that he has no chance currently against Yamcha. They also have no idea where Babidi currently is, and there's no way to reverse the Majin spell, as far as they know. Shin takes Gohan back to Earth with the Kai, and he tracks the whereabouts of Majin Buu's ki. By now, Buu's eaten enough candy to be fully healed from the Yamcha fight, but he suddenly feels a power spike approaching him. He flies towards it and meets Gohan in an intense stare down up in the air. Gohan powers up to the max power he currently has, which is Super Saiyan 2, although he's slightly stronger due to the Z-Sword training as well as going through a portion of the Elder Kai ritual. In reality, this probably wouldn't amount to any power gain, but even if it did, it doesn't really matter, because it's not enough. Gohan does put up a good fight, but the regeneration and physical strength of Super Buu is too much for one Saiyan to handle. But Buu doesn't finish him off. Instead, he has a different plan. He needs to get enough power to defeat this Majin guy, and this hopefully is the power boost he needs. In a twisted turn of events, Buu ends up backing Gohan into a corner and absorbing the Saiyan, becoming the all-powerful Buuhan. And just as Gohan gets absorbed, Buu feels two other keys approaching him fast. Buuhan finishes the transformation and the two fighters land, pissed off. This is Goku and Vegeta, fresh out of the time chamber. They were just a single minute late from saving Gohan, but they're gonna get him out of there, one way or another. Goku tells Vegeta that he would love a 1v1 with Buu right now, but Yamcha's the main priority. They need to finish this together to conserve energy. Vegeta reluctantly agrees, and the two power up the Super Saiyan 2 to brawl Buuhan. They begin fighting, but surprisingly Buuhan's holding up pretty well. This power is much more than they anticipated. They have no choice but to show their true power. They both power up even further beyond, and behold, two mastered Super Saiyan 3s. Vegeta achieved this form recently on Earth, while Goku achieved it in the other world. But together they were able to master the strenuous form. And although they've both mastered the form, Vegeta does have a bit of a harder time since Goku's currently dead. But regardless, together they easily knock Buuhan to the ground with a combo and fire blast down, defeating the Majin. They land beside the burnt and worn out Buu and watch as he struggles to get out. And surprisingly, Buu actually pleads for his life and begs for mercy here. Maybe it's the rationality of Gohan talking. The two Saiyans agree, but only if he releases Gohan. Buu agrees and vomits out Gohan, returning to base form. Goku and Vegeta think about destroying Buu here, but he gets down on his knees and begs for his life once again. He's going to change his ways and stop harming innocent people. They talk for a bit and decide to let him go. He sighs with relief and flies away, but out of nowhere, a ball of ki appears in front of him, and he slams to a halt, confused. But suddenly 10 more orbs of ki appear around him, and they all fly at him all at once, crashing together and exploding in the air. Buu screams and gets completely evaporated. Wow, how weak you two have become, letting the prey escape. I can't believe I used to fear you two. Yamcha explodes with ki, letting everyone know of his location on a neighboring mountain. The two Saiyans feel the ki of Yamcha and know they must once again join forces. Goku picks up Gohan and puts him in a safe location, and the battle begins. It's actually quite difficult for Yamcha to balance two Super Saiyan 3s in a single fight. It's the hardest battle he's ever had, and he powers up to the max, and actually starts to push the two back. It seems like Goku and Vegeta were winning at the start, but the continuous battle has them heading in the other direction. Goku's holding out, but Vegeta's getting more sluggish by the second. Gohan, woken up at this point, yells at the two that he has a solution. The two head for Gohan, and surprisingly Yamcha lets this happen. He'd love to see the solution these three monkeys have to defeat his unlimited power. Gohan pulls out his last-ditch effort from his gi, obtained from the Supreme Kai himself, the Potara earrings. With this, the two have to fuse together and use the power to defeat Yamcha. Goku's surprised that there's another way to fuse. He knows of the fusion dance from his time in Otherworld, but he sort of forgot to teach Vegeta in the time chamber, so that's out of the question. But this, there's no skill required, so they actually could fuse. Vegeta sighs reluctantly, but there's no other choice. They must fuse. They each put on Potara and clash together, creating a blinding light. Behold, the power of Super Saiyan 3 Vegito. Yamcha can't believe it. This ki, it's like nothing he's ever seen. It's much more than he anticipated after hearing about the fusion. Vegito appears behind Yamcha and asks if he's ready. Angrily, he swings at Vegito, but it doesn't land. Vegito effortlessly dodges and sends a fist at Yamcha's gut, which makes him buckle back. Vegito attacks and absolutely pummels Yamcha. There's nothing he can do against this power. He blasts Vegito back and puts everything into a Hell Spirit grenade ball, and the blast engulfs Vegito. But when the smoke fades, Vegito stands, unaffected. Damn, that aura is just too much, man. He's already injured and heavily drained, but Yamcha attempts to use Kaioken times 5, which works, but it's no use, he's still being overpowered. Vegito decides that it's time to end this, and because he's feeling the strain of being in Super Saiyan 3 this long, but that's besides the point. He pummels Yamcha continuously to the point that he's barely standing. He then instant transmissions behind him and delivers a final blast at Yamcha's back, which sends him flying to the ground as the blast explodes. Safe to say he's unconscious. Goku and Vegeta are still fused at this point, unsure of how to unfuse, but Gohan states that the fusion only lasts for an hour. They go and grab Yamcha, but they're a bit unsure of what to do with him. Is he going to be evil when he wakes up? But suddenly, the Majin M on his forehead begins to disappear. Turns out that while they were fighting, Shin was hunting for Babidi, and using the Kai, he eventually found him and put him out of his misery. A few hours later, the two Saiyans are unfused, and Yamcha wakes up after receiving medical treatment. He's relieved that everyone's okay. He remembers bits and pieces of what happened, but he didn't really have control. It's almost like a whole different side of Yamcha was in control. The Z-Fighters then have a massive celebration, which officially ends the Z-Saga of the series. From here, it's mostly calm times for Earth. I'm gonna make a quick change about how Goku comes back alive. For helping out so much with the two universal threats of Majin Buu and Majin Yamcha, King Yama as well as the Supreme Kais believe that he should be compensated with the life of a mortal body. It was sort of the dire circumstances in canon that led to Elder Kai bringing back Goku by using his own life, but I believe this makes a lot more sense here. And I could actually see this happening if it was canon. So the group has smooth sailing with the occasional sparring match for about 4 years. Well, I think that's where I'm going to wrap this part up. If you're enjoying the series so far, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Alright, I'll see you all in the next one.